Alrighty, folks, welcome back to another episode of the Sound of Sosa. I have Jolane here with me. She is hosting a tattoo convention called Inked Expression Art. She has done everything herself on this. She from the ground up. And as well, she will have contests there. She'll have live music, tattoo artist, and then some other fun adult stuff. But I will let her go ahead and talk about that, and we can go from there.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jolene. My company is Inked Expression Arts. And actually, 1 week from now, next Saturday on October 5th, we're doing the first Inked Arts Fest. It's a tattoo convention with a little bit of a, hometown spin on it. We have live music from local artists. I have some contests that tattoo artists love to do at the tattoo convention. Got these really cool light up trophies for them to win. So they'll be really doing their best artwork.
Hmm.
Walk up tattooing will be available. And then, while somebody's getting tattooed, I got the live music. There's also vendors. I have Project Headspace and Timing. They're a local veteran help
Nice.
organization. So they'll be there kind of telling people what they do. I got our local Let's Catch Up Lunch Foundation. They help the students with bad lunch debts. They pay off bad lunch debts at school districts. Um,
That's super awesome. I
yeah,
and because when I was a kid, um, I would always forget to get money from my parents, and so like I was the kid that was always eating peanut butter and honeys, and like when I did get money, I'd be like, yeah, extra entree, yeah, awesome, but they never let me rack up a debt. I'm kind of upset about that. I'd rather been eating the good food, but I mean, it the one thing that I can say now is I eat peanut butter and honey every day now. And so it's like, but no, that's awesome. That's super awesome because I know that it made me feel like crap growing up, not having or being able to either have a lunch or have a hot lunch. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah. Well, I just think like kids are an important part of our future. So something that supports the kids, that's good for me.
yeah,
I'm a
100%.
mom of 4 kids myself, so kids are an important part of my life.
Yeah, no. It's always surprises me how quick people are to put off something that's for children. Um, and so yeah, no, that's great. That's awesome. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on that little tangent,
That's
but
okay.
okay, so you're saying that you're going to have, you were talking about the vendors with
Yeah, I have vendors there, so there's more things for people to see than tattooing. Um, you know, uh, we'll have airbrush tattoos, temporary tattoos, because in case somebody wants to bring their children, maybe there's a young high school girl that's interested in tattooing as a career. Maybe she wants to look around. It's not going to be completely adult centered. Any adult activities, adult fun, as you mentioned, will be in a private room.
yeah. Okay, no, that's awesome. It's good to keep it encompassing of the family too, because then it gives more people a chance to actually venture out. Because I know that's a hard thing with me is finding. I mean, I don't like finding time away from the kids, but like even to go like have dinner or someone else with someone, it's hard to find someone to watch the kids. Um, and so it's in Northfield Square Mall in Bradley, Illinois.
Yep.
Okay. Um, so what made you want to kind of go down this road?
I have an interesting mind. And I always have these ideas. And I had been to the tattoo convention that they host in Chicago. Those are big commercialized companies. They've been doing it for a while. They're pretty established in the industry. And I was just looking around like our community is a really like tattoos are not as taboo as they used to be. It's like a way to express art. I really like the artwork side of it. I'm artistically inclined myself. I like to paint, draw, those kind of things. And when I kind of seen how big and crowded and overwhelming it was, I just thought in our area down in Kankakee County, they do, they have the county fairs. They have this called Shoe Fest. It's like a hippie music fest in the woods out in the state park. We do Merchant Street Music Fest. There's just a lot of great community rich events. Why have we never done this? So it's something I wanted to see. So I decided that I would bring it.
Yeah.
I know how to worked in hospitality for many years. I know how to draw a crowd, and It's just something I started working on this last March.
It's crazy that you were able to pull together that quick too. That says a lot. Um, that shows a definite level of dedication. That's for sure. Um, no, it's so obviously. Well, obviously because you can't see them. That's kind of by design though for me. I love tattoos. I got my first one when I was 16. Yeah.
Bet you made your parents proud.
Honestly, it pissed off my mom. My dad didn't care. It's funny too. Yesterday was her birthday, but no, yeah, my mom was like, "Look at what he did," and he's like, "That's cool," and just turned back to the computer. He did not care one bit. And then I added something below it, and then I got the Gabriel put on my chest, and then my whole back covered, and it's gonna sprawl out from there. The only tattoo that I have that actually shows when I wear a non-collared shirt is I have a semicolon rose on the back of my neck,
Okay.
with two heartbeats on each side. But I got that from my mother. My whole back is actually dedicated to my mom. And so
Oh.
I really do love to. It's how I use tattoos to help me get through her loss, really, because around this time and around the time she passed, which unfortunately was my birthday, but I would always go and get a tattoo because I couldn't figure out how to handle the emotional pain.
Like a therapy.
Yeah.
Tattoos are therapeutic. They're very therapeutic.
And so getting that physical pain allowed me to take that emotional pain, and just push it into that physical pain. I know that sounds probably horrible because
It's okay.
you're kind of pushing on, you know what I mean?
Tattoos are therapy. It's
Yeah,
fine.
no, and it helped. It literally did. It took the day that I would be miserable and drowned in horrible emotions, and it made the day livable again. And I've now stopped doing that and since learned to deal with it, you know.
We gotta grow.
Yeah.
We gotta grow through what we go through.
Yeah, 100%. And so it's like I think tattoos. I love that they have become non-taboo because it's nice being able to see people in other professions actually be able to express themselves, because just because you're in a white collar job, it shouldn't mean that you should have to be stringent and you should have to be in this line. Would I want my little girl walking into her kindergarten class with a teacher with face tattoos? Probably not. I might question that a little bit, like, yo, what were you thinking when you did that?
I have a big black and gray mermaid on my thigh and leg, and I'm like, sometimes I take markers and color it in. Do I want the tail to be orange? Do I want it to be blue? Because with the black and grays, you can decide what you want. Like a human coloring book.
Yeah, that's hilarious. That's awesome though. That's super cool. Yeah, I've always tried to stick away from color. I only have 2 spots of color on me, and that's a little blue in my angel, and that's because I literally told the dude no color, but I was just sitting there drinking, and all of a sudden I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing with blue? Like, I don't want color that fades, and that's just a personal preference. But and then I did have him put yellow on a lantern on my back.
For a little glow.
Yeah, just because I was like, it's symbolizing that there's always light no matter how dark times get. And
True.
so
Classy.
all my tattoos have meaning to me, and that's kind of the way, like, and I don't ever judge anyone that just gets a random tattoo or anything like that. Like, that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But I knew that in order for me to be okay with them for the longevity of them, which is my life,
The commitment.
yeah,
Well, there's laser removal now.
yeah, but doesn't that hurt?
I don't have any tattoos laser removed, so
Yeah,
I wouldn't know. But I do hear it is painful.
Yeah, and it's like, so I guess that kind of be I'm gonna go get a tattoo to get it removed,
A little more pain.
Yeah, pinpoint some emotional pain, But no, yeah. So that was a long tangent of mine, but oh man, I gotta stop doing that. I'm really bad with it.
Yeah, it's fine.
But
That's that brilliant brain. It's got so many thoughts.
yeah, yeah, that's what they call ADHD, right? But
Well, they gotta name it that so they can medicate it.
so they can make money off of it. And
Yeah.
freaking pump it. Dude, it's like it's.
Well, let's not go into that. We're talking about tattoo conventions
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
That would be a whole another podcast, but I could get with it.
Yeah, no, we won't talk about that. Yeah. So back to tattoos. So as far as it goes, the tattoo convention in Chicago, I've actually never went to. It just going to Chicago is a big turnoff for me,
Hmm.
and
For a lot of people.
it's
Parking, traffic, you never know what's going to happen. People are
yeah,
weird.
people are f***ing crazy. Like they really are. It's a messed up world right now. You have people beating up cops and getting out the next day. It's like, dude, what happened to protecting society like we're supposed to? This no bail bond stuff, you know. But anyways, okay. So
Another tangent we could go
yeah,
off on.
yeah, and so being able to avoid Chicago, that is definitely a big enticing thing for me because
Free parking.
yeah, and you don't have to pay what, $30 like you do in Chicago, $20 from McCormick Center or right by it at least, I think.
The one I went to was in Rosemont.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how much is it out there?
I think it was like 15 or
Still
20.
though.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
But
still that stinks.
I just paid it, put it on a
and
credit card. 'Cause
yeah.
I needed to get eyes on it for my business.
Yeah.
Business trip, go look at the tattoo convention.
I mean, that's what you do though. That's what you do for you do market strategy, which market strategy is learning who else is in the market with it. And so you can adopt good ideas and avoid bad ones. You can identify, you know, jam ups and things like that. I know when they had like a exotic animal convention at this school with a previous guest I'd had on, Mike Levins. He was doing one of the stands, and a lot of people were coming out super mad.
Is that the lizard guy that was on your podcast?
Yeah,
I seen that. Yeah.
yeah. He's a really cool guy. I really like him.
So
we
Mike,
grew up together. Yeah. Shout out to
if you want to come, I have vendor booths open.
there we go. I mean, I could see those two crossing over pretty well, actually.
I have a lizard guy there.
Yeah, exotic animals and tattoos. Yeah, that's I mean,
I have Clarity Creations. He's a gentleman out of Mantino, out by me, and he's bringing his reptiles and snakes, and
really,
I have them in the front glass so that people can walk by and see that there's
I
cool
have,
critters in there.
I didn't even think about that. I have 3 people who I'll reach out to for you. Out that Mike guy, I'll reach out to, and then I have the Johnny's reptiles guy, and then I have another guy,
I
Jose,
love this
who does
networking.
that. So yeah, no, I'll reach out to them and see if they wanna do anything, because I know I don't know if the other
Short
2 are
notice,
set up for it.
but they can always just come check it out and see what that vibe is like.
Yeah.
I plan on putting out some good vibes.
And so, would this be like a one-time thing? You're gonna, if it is successful, you're gonna do it again?
I did put first annual, so I'm hoping to at least do it annually.
Okay.
You know, I'm manifesting success with this.
Yeah. I mean, everything looks legitimate. I mean, you were showing me the outline earlier, and I mean, that is.
I have the map.
Yeah.
Well, this one I've already changed. Hold on, I got a blank one. But yeah, I got this. It's a 12,000 square foot cosmetology school. So there's plenty of hand washing sinks for the health department stuff. And then it has a nice flow so that people can kind of walk around, see the vendors, get their photos, listen to the music up front. It's not distracting the tattooers in the back. They can have their own thing going on. And then over here, away from the music, that's where I'll have the reptiles so they aren't bothered by the noise.
Yeah.
Because even though there's like a wall in between, still the frequency of sound is there.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother thing too. I mean, I didn't even think about that. That's an interesting point. Yeah, and animals, well, no, animals can pick up on sounds that we can't. I'm not sure which, what side of the spectrum it is, because there's high tone, low tone, So, but yeah, no, that's very considerate, because I could see that being a little disruptive to them if it was like a sound they're not used to, But I think they'll be good.
Yeah, there's a lot of frequency in between the tattooing, like with the machines, with the, with the sound going on. It's a lot of frequency going on. I'm hoping it'll be all a good frequency.
I think so.
The frequency of return.
I think it will be. From the way you explain the layout, and if you want to explain it again to me, and that way I can put that up so people can see it too as well. I know you were kind of speaking to it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I have. So when you walk in the front doors, you'll see, the band, the concessions. I'll have some free Monster for the first couple of guests that show up until it's out. I have some. The kids will be doing airbrush and temporary tattoos. And then if you go to the back, that's where the tattooers will be in the 2 classrooms. And then in the back, the old break room. If you walk around through, I'll have like a little Halloween hallway. There's another area that I have Uncle Eric's apiary, I think that's how you say it. It's a bee. He has honey products.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, and
That's what's up.
I
I
met
love
him
honey.
down in Springfield when I was turning in my when I was turning in the license, because like you have to get it in 30 days before the event,
Yeah.
and it was 31 days, and I just drove it to Springfield because I was like, I don't trust next day air, or I don't trust it.
No.
I want it signed and stamped.
Yeah. No. So that's a far drive.
It was 2 hours, yeah.
That sucks.
But hey, I met a vendor down there, and
Yeah.
now he's
No.
going.
That's awesome though. See, that's. Uh,
I talk to people.
I've become very religious, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and I'm very happy about it. But like I do feel like you do get put on this path to cross
Divine encounters, yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
There's a reason, that you felt you needed to drive that, and then you got something
And
from it. You know what I mean?
the universe has literally made this whole thing happen. Like, there's been divine God moments throughout this whole thing that I'm like, okay, that just magically happened. Like, miracles don't just happen. There's definitely a force behind them.
Yeah.
So
There's definitely something. There's too many beautiful things around us that work so intricately perfectly to think that it just falls into place. Um and I mean, tattooing is a perfect example of that. I mean, look at all the things that come together to make a tattoo. You know what I mean? It's like the first people with Indian ink, and
or
a stencil.
the tap, and
Yeah, that's what I called it, Indian ink. Sorry, but yeah, that's what I meant. Like where they would hit into them. Like
yeah.
that's huge. I mean, if you look at skin coloring and actual alterations to the human body by people, it goes back eons to the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I mean, we've been looking for ways to differentiate ourselves from each other forever. And it's not because we're all so different; it's because we're all so similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, there's a lot of things that when you kind of rip them apart and look at them, and that became taboo over time, like tattooing did. Tattoos were looked at as, oh, only sailors got them, people of rough backgrounds and so on. But
Or they were, or even if it had a bad connotation, like a prison number,
yeah,
or there's a lot of history behind tattooing.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't even think about that side of it too. If you think about some of the bad side of it, even like, I mean, look at Nazi Germany; they used it as a system to eradicate people, unfortunately. And I mean, even some of those people who did the tattooing just were they there was a short little thing I read online about a guy who actually did it, and he had hid he tried to hide the fact that he was a Nazi and he was doing it, but he said after the third one, he his hand, like every number would get worse and worse and worse because he was shaking so bad from it.
Because imagine the mental strife that goes through. Like,
If you have a conscience, yeah.
you have a conscience, and you're giving somebody their death number. No way.
Yeah,
No
no,
way.
yeah. And so, like, I think he ended up being charged, if I'm not mistaken, actually, with war crimes because of it. But
I don't have a clue. I just, I consider all aspects of the industry,
yeah,
and just like it has a rich history, a rich culture behind it.
yeah.
Good, bad, expressive, and otherwise.
And I think it's mostly become good now. And I think things like this help it, become good.
Yeah, it's
And
like we're
or
doing
not
an
become
expo.
good, or show the good that
Just
it
show
was.
that there's a lot more to tattooing than, oh my god, my kid got a tattoo.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that general reaction.
It's gonna be there forever.
Yeah, I think kids they should think it out for sure. You know what I mean?
There was a tattoo I wanted when I was super young. My girlfriend, I'm Jolane, and my girlfriend Jody. I wanted this boxing glove with a shot glass with a tequila worm. We used to drink Jose, so it was Joe and Joe got drunk on the hoe, and then I wanted a boxing glove because I was rowdy, and then I wanted the drunk worm hang. I'm so glad I never got that tattoo, but I really wanted it. I drew it out and everything, and I thought about it like, do I want this on me forever? And I never did it because, one, I was broke as a kid. I had kids when I was a kid, so all of my time and money went into that. And then I was, I bartended, so through my kids being young, so I spent a lot of time away from home on the weekends. I didn't have
Yeah,
extra time, and any extra money I had went into my family, just having a single parent household.
yeah, that's a hard thing to do. And I bet you're glad you didn't get it.
Yes. Yes.
And so that's the one thing I would stress is just think about the tattoo. Make sure you're gonna be okay with it in 20 years. You know what I mean? Because no matter what your mind state is now, it will not be the same in 20 years or 10 or 5.
Well, I explained to my daughter that when I was 18, I didn't run out and get a bunch of tattoos just because I seen my friends getting terrible tattoos. I was like, if you're gonna get a tattoo, research your artist, make sure they do good work, they're not brand new. Oh, she has like $3,000 in ink on her. She decided, I'm not just gonna get a tattoo. I'm gonna get an $800 tattoo here and another $700 tattoo here and a $1,500 back piece and like,
Are they worth what she
oh,
paid?
she's got beautiful artwork. She did
Okay,
not get
okay,
any
that's good.
trash scratcher,
Yeah.
art. She's got beautiful,
Oh,
artistically. I mean, I'm glad I talked to her into, invest your money wisely. But like, she's tatted up for being 20.
that's hey, it's that's that's her choice, and so
I did. I told her save some real estate for your life. This is the very beginning of your life.
yeah,
You got what you got the look going on. Just kind of save some real estate for your life experience.
100% because there's gonna be like there's I really so that's the one thing I can say is like I the one tattoo I got that is gonna be Gabriel. It's not a regret, but his name was Butch, so I'm just gonna keep in line with that. He butched it bad. He only has 4 fingers on one hand. Like,
Yeah, that's the guy who wants tattooing me.
oh yeah, 100%. 16 years old, doing some really explicit, unfortunate stuff, and was like, yeah, let's do this, man.
Yeah, we make great decisions at 16.
Yeah, real great ones. And the tattoo was a good idea. I'm happy with the idea behind it, but when you see it, you're like, wiggly lines. He wasn't in the best state of mind, and neither was I. And so it's like,
Yeah, those are great decisions. Sometimes I don't remember those decisions, and I think that's for a good reason.
that's your mind protecting you there. That's what that is.
Trauma blocking.
Yeah, 100%. And so like I don't regret it, and I this is the first time ever in my life I've been like, maybe I should get it redone, but I don't want to because it reminds me like, hey, don't go back to that stupidity because that's what that stupidity brought.
Yeah.
It is a permanent thing on your life that you'll never be able to get rid of. But today was the first time ever in my life that I've been like, hey, maybe I should actually get it redone. It could probably look pretty badass if I had someone recover it.
There's a lot of people. I mean, they can blend in your lines and fix up the faces because tattoos do fade over time. I mean,
Yeah.
it is an injury. It's an injury to your body. Your body wants to heal it.
Yeah.
That's why, a professional tattooer knows exactly how deep to go, how, which layer of skin so they don't, so they can set the ink and not scar you.
Yeah. Thankfully he didn't do too bad. And the one guy that I actually have do most of my work now, was his name's Kyle Berg from the something.
Are you loyal to one tattoo artist now?
I'm kind of like that, yeah. Because
You
once
have a loyalty bond.
I do. I think it's that Chicago mentality. Me and actually that Mike guy were talking about this. Like, once you got a guy, you got a guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yeah, I got a guy for that.
Yeah.
What?
I'm loyal to you till you cross me.
Yeah. Don't mistake my kindness for a weakness. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm feeling really bad right now about not remembering his shop name because the reason I actually went to him was because of his recovery work. Because the guy that did my tattoo did it to a bunch of other people, but they went and got their stuff fixed or
By
covered
him?
up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Chuck Johnson.
So he was fixing butchers.
Yeah. Yep.
Butcher's block.
Yep. He really was. Yep. And Butch was a good guy. In essence, he had gotten into some trouble, but he did it. I think his actions were justified in a lot of people's eyes because, but
Life happens. Yeah.
exactly. And so, he was like, again, don't mistake his kindness for a weakness.
Mhm.
But in the end, I mean, the guy had a good heart when it came down to it. He definitely he grew up in a different lifestyle, and so I think you got to respect that too by understanding that, like, hey, not everyone's gonna have the same path. But something parlor.
Tattoo parlor.
It's some. It's in.
There's a lot of Plainfield.
The Constable Tattoo Parlor.
Oh, I follow them on my.
Yeah, Kyle Berg.
I see their stuff a lot. They got good tattooers there.
Yeah. See, I don't really know the other tattooers. I just know Kyle.
I just when I started this, I started the social media and I started following local, like within an hour of I started following a bunch of local shops.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. I mean, that's honestly.
I organically built my page. I'm so excited. My Facebook page just got 1,000 followers.
That is honestly exciting. I don't even have that.
And
So
I just, I mean, I've been doing a lot of YouTube University, trying to figure out how to build this, market this, do this stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but I looked into those, AI followers or whatever, just so that I would look more credible. But I was like, no, I am an in-person person, and I just like posted this, like, thank you for 1,000 followers, because I'm an in-person person. Like, I want to meet you, I want to shake your hand, I want to say thank you, like. And this automation stuff that's taking over, like, oh, hold on.
Grab your phone. You're good.
Oh, sorry. So this automation stuff that's taking over, it just takes the personal aspect out of things. And I still believe in person to person contact, boots on the ground. Like, I spent all summer going to tattoo conventions, passing out my flyers, meeting tattooers, kind of telling them like, hey, I'm a formal bartender. I'm a formal, I used to work in a lot of weddings, expos, and events, and I want to do a tattoo event.
Yeah.
Would you be in my show? I went to Tennessee. I went to Indianapolis. I went to Fort Wayne. I went to Chicago.
That's awesome.
Boots on the ground, shaking people's hand like, this is me. This is my event. I would love it if you'd be there.
See, that's the type of thing I think that is lost on a lot of people. They don't realize the time and the energy it truly takes to put something like this together. And I'm ignorant to it myself. I get that's why I'm so shocked to hear all this, because I mean, I know it takes that now that you say it, but it's definitely it's a older technique, I think, that is lost on the newer generations. Because like you said, everything is we can go on a computer and do that, but people won't respect you in the same way as...
I can pay for social media ads and just flood your field and spam you
yeah
with my ads. But, I'd rather have, people share. It'd be like, I had a great experience there. These are great people. This was a nice time. They really accommodated me.
Yeah.
I would rather have that than, wow, it would, I was super busy, but I was crammed and I was hunched over for hours. And
yeah. No, I mean, from the way you've set everything up, and you have stacks in front of you of stuff right now. Like,
it's a lot. Here's
it really is.
Here's my flyers that I'm going to pass out. Here's the ones we're going to pass out at the carnival. Here's my people that won on the radio and my social media promotions. These are my, my people willing to work. My calendar that I haven't really. These are people I reached out to, just notes. Here. Be the best version of yourself. A penny saved is just a penny. Those are those old, like, just taking notes on life.
Yeah.
Insanity. My brain. It's me drawing and doodling. My book that I've been using and then not been using, just reminding me who needs to turn in their bloodborne pathogen certificates so I can get them over. Who do I need to call? Then, like, go check on my daughter's dog and let her out because she works midnights. And just
That's how you keep yourself organized.
It's like a dysfunctional organization, but it works for me. It doesn't make sense to anybody else.
And sometimes that's honestly the way you got to do it, though, because unless you want to hand it off, eventually, if you want to hand it off, you will have to standardize everything. But
yes,
and so that's even another trick that's hard to do, because I know how to do that really well, and I still struggle to do it myself for this.
Yeah, the goal is to get an assistant for sure, because this is a lot of work for one person.
Yeah.
And I've been driving my family crazy, and
Matt probably loves it.
Yeah. Matt's like, if I never hear about a tattoo again, thank you, honey. He's been the best husband. My husband is like the whitest, cleanest, he is so...
Does he even have tattoos?
He has one tiny tattoo that he got when he was 18, and he's considered it, but he doesn't want to because of his career, So there's still that stigma.
There is.
In the, we still have old timers that look at tattoos, and it's, I'm fortunate enough to, work in a field where it's not as, and then being an entrepreneur, like, guess what? It's my business.
Yeah, I don't gotta
if you don't like my tattoos,
yeah, you don't got to work with me. Yeah, it's simple as that.
I only have I have little, like, from, like how you said, tattoos by design.
Yeah.
I'm working on the leg sleeve instead of the arm sleeve.
Yeah, you can cover it easier. Yeah,
because I still have that thought in the back of my mind, like, what if I want to be like an ambassador or a lawyer or like who knows what my future holds? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no,
want
and
people to take me seriously.
well, the my thing was like my mom just drilled into my head like, do not get one outside of it, because my mom always had me on going to be a doctor route, and it was go through nursing school, then go through get a master's degree in nutrition, and then from there go on to med school because that's the cheapest route and you can make money while doing it, and as well they stack the same way med school stacks.
Oh,
And
I never wanted to be a doctor.
yeah, I mean yeah, it's kind of weird because I wanted to be, but it was more of like brainwashing, honestly. And like I hate to say that because I love my mom, I love her dearly, and
They were
but
just looking out for us doing what they knew.
they thought she thought she would have put me on a great path, but the one thing that she didn't realize that I didn't realize either was I have workaholic tendencies,
Mm-hmm.
and like that would have ruined my life. I wouldn't have a family. I wouldn't be as um I don't think I would be as good of a father. And like, yeah, I'm still working a shitload now, but I'm able to walk away from it and like I can be happy. You know what I mean? Like if I was walking away from, oh, I just lost a patient, that would it would hit me in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
you
so
get yeah, I could see that emotional connection for sure.
yeah, I'm a very emotional person. Like I am very emotional. I hate it. I cry so much on this podcast. Like it's just
I
part of
see your tissues out on the table.
yeah, no, yeah. That's from learning that, realizing that hey, I gotta stop using paper towels because my nose kept getting destroyed.
Well, yeah, and we're getting older. We got to keep our skin with soft stuff.
Yeah,
And
I'm getting sensitive, more sensitive, right? That's it's just how I am. But yeah, no. And so like she drilled it into me, like don't have tattoos show, and like it was, I forget about the one on my neck that shows, and like I was doing I did something for my church for vacation Bible school. I did one of the parts because they had someone drop out, and I had walked out the back door off the stage, out of the back door, out of the church, and then when I walked back in, one of the guys is like, "Do you have a tattoo on your neck?" I was like, "Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I do." He's like, "Oh, you're Emmett." I was like, "Oh, yeah," because we did like a Lego theme thing, so I was Emmett from the Lego movie type deal.
everything is awesome. Did
Yep.
you guys sing that?
Yeah, we did. Danced around too. It was great. It was such a good experience. But I forget about my tattoos all the time. Like I
They're
literally
just a part of you.
yeah, I've turned around and something like, oh, whoa, like what is that thing back there?
I was wearing I was wearing something short, and you could see the tattoos on my leg because
Yeah.
I have the mermaid on my thigh, and then I have like a shell and a feather. Then it actually represents a semicolon tattoo of my own drawing.
Okay,
So
nice.
this little old elderly lady um pulls up her capris, her purple capris. She was very fabulous, the big, costume jewelry, and she's like, I have a tattoo of a tomato, and he has never tattooed a tomato on someone before, and he never tattooed someone my age. So this is my first tattoo. Like, this old lady felt the need to show me her tomato tattoo, and it was so cute.
That's awesome, and it's cool because that's
Tells a story,
well, and it's also a way to bring people together. Like
Mhm.
I don't know exactly, but I could probably guesstimate that the chances of you two interacting outside of that would have been 0 to none.
Exactly.
Or 1 to none.
We would
like
have just walked past each other in the feed store,
yeah,
and
yeah.
she was just like, "Oh, I have a tomato tattoo." And I was like, "She is so cute."
That's adorable. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Will you be
awesome.
my grandma?
Women have a weird inclination with older women too. It's so weird. Like I remember when I was growing up, my grandma would come and stay with us. All the girls would always be like, "I want to go see your grandma," and like so, like they would all go hang out with my grandma while all the guys were downstairs, and I'd come pop my head up. Like there was this one girl, Missy, who would always do it. I was like, "Dude, why do you have such a fascination with older
Grandmas
women
are
too?"
the best.
Dude, grandmas are pretty awesome. I mean, both my grandmas. Rest in peace, Grandma Bedino.
Yeah.
But Grandma
Rest in peace,
Sosa. I mean,
yes.
that lady's a monster. Oh, she really is. I came when I was living with her. I came home and I was like, I'm alone when I get home, Grandma. I come home, she's running across the lawn, 90s, and I was like, Grandma, what are you doing? Give me the lawnmower. Go inside. Like, but that's just who she is, and that's how she's stayed
Yeah,
healthy.
they grew up in the Depression. They had to fend for themselves. Their
Well, she came from
husbands were
Mexico,
out at war.
so
yeah.
So she
She'd been through life.
yeah, and she did it really successfully. Actually, she ended up pretty well off. You know, just from her own ambitions and hard work, and so
Ambition and hard work it says a lot.
It does. Unfortunately, there's definitely some tip scales in this country with that. That kind of work against it with certain things because of domination of certain industries. But this is something that I would have, I, you know, obviously we met because we play volleyball together and
Yeah.
everything like that. And so like hearing you were doing this, it took me by such surprise because like I guess I didn't realize in like I gotta think about how I'm gonna say this because I don't want to say it in the wrong way. I didn't think that you could put something like this together that quickly, and I don't think normal people can. I don't want to put down anyone by saying, "Hey, if you take longer than that to do this, then you're not as good" or anything
It
like that. But
definitely needs a lot of planning, and I definitely jumped a lot like I feel like it wouldn't have been divinely inspired in my mind and one of my crazy tangents going off where like I just started writing stuff down and I started writing down names and I started writing down local places and I started writing down like the contest schedule and I was just like, no, this needs to happen. This needs to not stay in my head. It needs to happen.
yeah,
And I I just don't like it's something that our area was lacking. Like Chicago is a big area. It's a great city, but there's a lot. There's also like I get anxiety. My husband loves the city. He works in the city, but when I go out there, I'm like watching cars. Like they're stopping, and he's like, I drive in the city all the time, and I'm like trying to hit the brakes in the passenger seat, and like, and he's like, don't do that when I drive. Like,
you're one of those people who does the
yes,
YMCA in the car.
yes,
Yeah, I hate that. I absolutely hate that because I have the similar thing that happens in my car too. And yeah, it scares the crap out of you when you're driving. I will say that, but it's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah,
So and like I moved from like I used to live in like Alsip, Midlothian area, Worth. In 1999, I moved out to Bourbonnais, and it was a big culture shock because I went from walking to Chicago Rich Mall and the Pace bus and just the fast South suburban life
yeah.
to it was cornfield after cornfield after cornfield after cornfield, and then there was another cornfield, and I was just like, where the hell am I? I am in the boonies, BFE.
Yeah.
And so we moved out to Bourbonnais, and then when my mom got married, they bought a house. And the school I went to, they literally had drive your tractor to school day. And I had a kid that was walking around in a boot that got stepped on by a cow, and I was like, where am I? Where's my city slicker life?
That's
But
hilarious.
now that I've grown up, I was a teenager then. Now that I've grown up and I have children in this area, I love the little quaint, quiet community. Um, a lot of people have left Chicago and moved out to this area because it's, cheaper cost of living. It's only, 45 minutes to an hour for work. Uh, so it's a great little area to relocate to.
Yeah. I honestly would. That's my dream, but it's Tennessee. I
It's beautiful
I
out
just want
there.
to get away from the city. I feel like the city is first off they're failing. No matter what the government's saying, the cities are failing. They're at a huge decline they have a huge vacancy rate in them. That was just
The whole
increasing
state of
drastically.
Illinois is a relocation rate, but
Yeah, I mean the numbers when I moved to Florida in 14, there was more people moving out than were being born or moving in, and that's been going and that's been getting. I thought it would be a lot more accelerated by now, but no, I think the simple life is a lot better for people. At least for me. I shouldn't say for people, but for me, I just I love the city. Don't get me wrong. Like I love the
there's
feeling when
definitely
you
a
get
charm. And
when you
when you come around Lakeshore Drive and you see those lights, yes, yes, it's beautiful. The city is very beautiful. It's nice to look at. It's nice to visit, but I just could not imagine living there.
Nah, I did live there for a little bit. I was like maybe 7 blocks north of Wrigley, and it was fun. It was
Yeah.
cool. Like I remember one night we saw these guys stealing a Cubs sign. I was like, "Hey!" off my front porch because we were one of the two houses that had a front porch, and we were all over there drinking. And I yelled at them. They drop it and all scatter, and then like I'm like, watch, they're gonna come back. So he sat out there smoking a cigarette, and
They came back.
20 minutes later, you see them all like poke their heads out from different spots to try and grab the barricade to go and steal it and bring it wherever they were bringing it. So yeah, and like when you first get down to the city, like you can feel the energy of everybody, like so you get excited and then I go to park my truck, I'm like, fuck this place. Like,
Well, and it's just like in the city, it's a lot different. Like out by me, like people wave in the car, and the Johnsons farmed over there on the northwest corner, past the Millers. Like it's so quaint and country, and like everybody knows everybody. And then when you're in the city, people like they look down, they're going fast, they don't take time to wave, they don't take time to say hi. Like out by me, somebody will say, "Oh, you have, the sticker on your shirt." And I'm like, "Thanks." And if I did that in the city, they would be like, "Why are you touching me?"
why look? Yeah, don't look at me.
Okay, walk around with a sticker on your shirt. I don't care.
And it's kind of like it's really unnatural the way we live in cities, though. You know what I mean? Like it's
We're human beings of connection.
yeah,
Like we are electrical, water, we're everything. So like people need people, like as much as there is this internet presence and online, but like don't isolate yourself. We're human beings of connection. We need each other.
yeah, 100%. And it's that's one thing I think that kind of wrecked me during COVID was the isolation of me.
Oh, it's
Made me
terrible.
go bonkers, man. And like now looking back on it, I was literally climbing up the wall because like, and I'm not the social.
I was a straight alcoholic.
Yeah, see, I was doing a lot of bad drugs. I could say that thankfully now because I'm not, and I'm way past it now.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was in a bad spiral.
I'm gonna be 3 years sober in December.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super awesome. That's definitely something to be proud of. Um, you know, it,
COVID took away people from us,
it
and people are ready to live. They're ready to go back out.
I mean,
Um,
it just I it's so weird though to me when you still see people who get so worried about it. And like, yeah, you should be worried about it if you're of bad health, if you're elderly. Yes, there is concern there, but to still be like even I don't
I'm
know,
the
that-
politics.
yeah,
Let's
that's
recircle back.
let's get off of that. Yeah, I don't want to get to
I
that
know
part.
I could go on that
Yeah.
forever.
But
But we will have a sanitary space here
There we
for
go.
our tattooing.
Yeah.
Each room has hand washing sinks, so that's adds to the cleanliness aspect of. And it's in a cosmetology school. This location that I chose, in Northfield Square Mall, used to be home of the Paul Mitchell Bradley Cosmetology Esthetician School.
Okay.
My 20-year-old daughter was actually one of the last graduating classes there.
Nice.
She signed up for esthetician school. She started making her own like lip balm, body butter products. We
cool.
went to like a local, like the Glad Festival.
Yeah.
And she was 16 years old selling her body butters to the people that were tattooed. Like, let me put this on your tattoo. Watch it shine with my all natural products, no chemicals, handmade. And yeah, now she's licensed esthetician. She's, wants to do the skin derma peels and all that stuff. She wants to go for medical esthetician. But yeah, she has her own, beauty lip balm and sugar scrubs and body butter. So
That's
that's
super
Paris's
cool.
passion.
That's awesome. No, that's
It's my
super
daughter
cool.
Paris. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a really pretty name too. I like that.
Thanks.
That's super cool. That's awesome that she got into it really young too, because like that will definitely be built upon for the rest of her life. And that type of like mentality will get her so much
She's
further.
definitely got the working mama mentality.
Yeah.
She's watched me work my whole life, and she definitely picked up where I
That's
left off.
good. That's
So
awesome. No, that really is.
she works midnights at the veterans home, and then she was going to school during the day for the esthetician, and she was cranky and tired, and but now it's finally, she's getting the payoff. She's
Yeah.
interviewing with esthetician spas. She wants to work in a med spa and do like laser and all that stuff.
Okay. So, no, that's
But
That's
her
awesome.
products for tattooing, like, because
Does she still do them?
yeah,
She does?
like you want to moisturize your skin.
Yeah.
Moisturized skin. Well, it'll show your ink better. It'll show your
It's just better for
hydrated.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to be hydrated. Drink
Yeah.
your water.
Yeah, you need water is essential and not purified water. You want spring water. I think one is
Nope,
purified, one
no,
is spring.
It's spring.
One is purified.
I picked the spring.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
do like spring water.
You need spring water. Spring water it hydrates you the best, and when you take out the minerals, your body will pull it from the organs actually. And so like you're not doing yourself a service by drinking.
Is that nutrition training for mom?
No, that's actually from what I learned on my own, just from my crazy mind, just like yours,
Yeah.
where so many things. When something goes through it that I don't know, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna figure that out. You know, like
YouTube University, here I come.
Yep, that and just a whole lot. Like one thing I do, so like I don't like regular Google too much to start a search from, but I will use Google Scholar. But you still have to siphon through it very, very like the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 32
Pages in.
pages. Yeah,
Yeah,
because a lot of stuff that gets pushed to the top
is paid for. It's
is
paid
monetized.
content.
It's
yeah.
monetized, and like it's messed up when scholarly journals are being monetized or being.
They're being
I hate
selected not based on their content. They're being selected because who pays the most money to put it at the top of the list.
Who is putting out that study, and that ruins stuff.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't pay for the followers stuff on social media. I wanted organic followers. I have 1,000 organic followers from March to September.
You should be proud of that because, and like granted, I don't do much on social media. I try to avoid it like the plague. Just
it is
because
a plague.
Because it's
consuming, it's annoying, it's exhausting.
Well, it's so entertaining too. Like
you could definitely go down a
5 minutes. You 5 minutes always turns into 30 with social media. Do you need to take it?
No, it's Matt. I'll just text him and tell him I can't talk right now.
Okay.
He loves me. Sorry, honey.
Sorry, Matt. You know, it's literally 5 minutes. I don't know many people that can go on social media for 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
I did set a reminder to tell me when I've been on for 2 hours.
See, that's
and like I'm like, really? I've already been on for 2 hours, and it's like, oh, 10 minutes here. Here's your, I wake up in the morning, I try to stretch, I try to read some prayers, and then doom scroll.
Yep.
And then, my daughter calls me because she works midnight. She gets off in the morning. She likes to make sure I'm awake. I like to call her before work to make sure she's on time. Like, we have a little routine.
Yeah.
But yeah, the doom scrolling, it happens,
easily too. That's because you're getting that little dopamine hit. You know what I mean? Like, and
oh yeah.
The scary thing is, it's like
it's made to be addictive.
That's what's messed up. It's like we have all these censoring laws against, like, you can't get a tattoo till you're 18. You need a parent's signature, but this thing that literally can drive your life into a hole, and we see there's plenty of studies that show correlation between depression and how much you scroll through social media.
Mm-hmm.
But you can sign up for that. You can target kids. You can make it to make them more addicted to it. But
oh yeah,
you have to be 18 to get a tattoo.
When I'm posting content, it says, "Is this made for kids?" Like,
yeah. So like that's a good point, because we do that to protect them. But why should, like, kids? I think really should. It's good for social media and everything like that, but there needs to be extreme limits put on
for sure.
children's accounts, like,
for sure,
because it can ruin your life really quickly.
All they do is they get bad posture. They're and they don't learn how to connect. Like they lose the creativity. Like, creativity is inspired in boredom.
Yeah.
Like, when you're sitting there quiet and you're alone with your thoughts, that's when they can happen. But if somebody else is feeding your thoughts.
That is such a good way to think of it.
Yeah.
That is honestly amazing.
I want to feed my own.
Can you say that again really quick for me?
I don't even know.
Yeah,
it was
just something that came
through my mind. No, I just said, like, creativity is inspired in boredom.
Creativity isn't. That is honestly amazing right there.
Taking notes. I have a lot of notes, actually.
That is honestly something that could be told to every child, because my daughter's always like, I'm so bored. She literally says that to me all the time. So I'm like, creativity is bored in boredom. Yeah. Creativity is inspired in boredom.
Yeah, no, we were...
That's a Jolane special right there.
There you go. Signed, Jolane Walanga. So, we were at the boat races over Labor Day weekend, and there was a kid there with no phone, and he was building, like, teepee stick, like, little things in the ground with the sticks that fell from the tree.
Yeah.
And the kids were like, they were watching him, like, what's he doing? I'm like, he's being creative.
Yeah.
Like, And then like she wanted to make one too, and like it's just like you make the log cabin like with the popsicle sticks, but it was like
Yeah.
with actual sticks from the tree. Like,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't, if you're sitting there looking on a phone, you miss those opportunities for creative moments.
That's honestly so true. And you put it so simply, it's like it's impossible to not understand. You know what I mean? That like I think those little bits that you can take something that is so complex and so like mind-boggling how kids can get so drawn into it. It's you can break it down to something that simple. If you let your kid get bored, you can help their creativity. And
Yeah.
creativity will take you eons further than reading, a textbook. And I'm not saying reading a book, I'm saying reading a government issued textbook because those textbooks suck, you
Yeah,
know?
I have like when my stepdaughter got her cell phone taken away,
Yeah.
we went out to the Moni Reservoir and she brought home a lily pad and she painted the painting and she pressed, painted the back of the lily pad, pressed it on her painting. When she was painting before, she was looking up other people's paintings to kind of draw her. She's very creative, very artistic.
Yeah.
But without that phone, not able to look up what to draw, she had to come up with it on her own. And I seen her, she mimicked one of my paintings. I said, "Did you make that like mine?" She's like, "No, no."
Never like you. I'm nothing like you. That's how kids are.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. Cause like, yeah, that's really cool to go to see the things that you're talking about that you're doing. It's like, that's the life that I want for myself. Unfortunately, I don't have the means right now to make it like
You'll get
culpable,
there. Yeah.
but like
You
going
just-
to boat races, going to the reservoir, like that's so much better than, oh, I'm going to the city. I don't know. Those two things, I would choose those any day over going anywhere like just, oh, let's go out to eat, let's go out to the movies, any of that crap. Like,
oh, the reservoir was like it was like a 2 hour trip. Like we literally just took 2 hours. Like I was bed rotting, doing nothing, probably posting on social media for the event. And Matt was like, "Let's get out of bed, get some vitamin D. We'll go to the reservoir, rent the paddle boat for an hour, and just unplug from life." And
Yeah.
he is good for that. He really gets me grounded back into, gets me out of myself when I'm getting squirrely.
yeah.
That whole opposites attract.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, that's good though. That is good that you guys find that balance between each other, because
We try.
It's
It's a work in progress.
It always is. It always is. And anyone tells you that it's not, they're either delusional or they're lying. One of the two, because I've never met anyone.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, but no.
Or fake it till you feel it.
Yeah, no, fake it till you make it for sure. Because once you fake it for so long, it becomes habit. You just
Yeah,
don't fake the wrong thing.
Like that whole manifestation process.
Yeah, it's definitely huge. I mean, look at what it did for you for this. You
My
just
goodness.
started writing one day, and then this whole thing came to fruition.
Yeah,
And
I started watching and getting ideas. Like when I went down to Tennessee, it was their first time hosting a tattoo. I went to the big one, commercialized one, 14th annual or whatever it is. The Ink Masters, the Bill and Arts, like they're big names in this. Like they're really impressive. They've got a great following. They're
Yeah.
really professional. And I kind of watched what they were doing and to have a successful event. And I was like, I like this on a much smaller scale.
Yeah. No, and I mean, it's you have to start somewhere first off, and then as well too, to try and make it this huge extraordinary thing that I don't think you would
No.
ever make it meet. You know what I
No.
mean? Like
And I don't like I started this from my own credit card and
yeah, no, and that's what's even better too is like you did this all by yourself.
I mean, I've had a lot of people that have been supportive. I
Yeah.
did get, Monster Energy donated cases of Monster, and I have a local guy donating an ATM. Like these are all services I don't have to pay for.
Yeah.
But it helps enhance my event and make me more credible. Industry Inks, they are out of Pennsylvania. They donated great ink prizes for the tattoo artists. I have a 32 ink set for them to win for the best of show. I have a black and gray set for them to win for the best black and gray.
That's
So,
awesome.
I have, I have prizes for them to win that goes for their industry. Just having support is so important to me, and it means a lot. I actually sent them a handwritten thank you card.
That's awesome. No, and people will appreciate that too. Because anything you definitely have like a definitely old school mentality, and I can appreciate that a lot because I have that as well. I'm good with technology, but even with doing the podcast, when I had to get back into social media, like it was like looking at hieroglyphics. I was like, how do I get to my photos? Like, I don't know how many times I would go to try and show someone a photo from Facebook when I was bartending at Midway, and I'd be like, do you know how to go to photos on Facebook? like,
I
uh,
I have this great idea that I'm gonna filter my photos. Like I'm gonna start an album. I'm gonna start an album for for when we go to horse shows. I'm gonna start an album for when we're at cheerleading football. I'm gonna start an album for all my tattoo stuff. And I have one like tattoo album that has my flyer in it, so it's easy to access.
yeah, I have all those grandeur plans too. I'm gonna get all my files organized. I'm gonna get all my videos organized. Like I start the folders and they start to get
That's where the
organized.
assistant would come in handy.
Yeah, right. It's like we have. I think people with minds like us, like we have all the right ideas with certain things. Like not, I shouldn't say all the right ideas. I'm not trying to sound like overconfident. Like I'm wrong all the
No,
time. I
you
know
should
that.
be confident. I mean, you have all great ideas.
Like
Don't underestimate yourself.
yeah,
You do have great
okay.
ideas.
I but like and like I know how to implement all the things. I know how to do it myself. The hardest thing is just finding the freaking time to do it. Like
Time management is like there is there's books on time management I need to read. But I think reading is another lost art because we have scrolling. So like if I want to read a book, I don't feel like I get the same reading experience reading a book on an electronic device versus reading a paper book.
what about Audible? Have you tried that?
I do like
Or like
I
audiobooks?
do like audiobooks and podcasts just because I can multitask.
Yeah.
You know, the ADHD is for real, so I need to be cooking dinner and listening to my podcast and music playing in the other room and the dogs are running around. It's got to be complete chaos to make sense in my life.
Yeah, that's how I am too. I constantly have to have something playing, but audio like I recognized when I was really young. I was in like 6th grade, 7th grade. I was like, "Hey mom, can you put me in Sylvan?" She's like, "Why?" Because I got good grades and like even though I ditched school all the time, but which was stupid. Don't do that. Um,
Guilty.
yeah, yeah. I was. I mean, at a point. I mean, I don't want to get you in trouble, but they started letting me sign myself out when I was 16 out of high school, and you're not supposed to do that. But they're like, okay, he's gonna walk out. I'm like, either I can walk out or you can let me sign myself out right now.
Where
So,
did Sylvan come in at?
so okay, yeah, sorry. So yeah. So Sylvan, I was like, Mom, I need to go to Sylvan so I can read better. And she's like, Are you struggling? I was like, these kids are finishing the book, and I'm like a quarter of the way through it. So yeah, something's wrong.
That is definitely like I have a bunch of books where I've read like the first quarter of it or the first half of it, and I'm like,
Mine's 3/4. I always read 3/4 and I stop.
oh,
I don't know. I don't know why. I literally have like 6 books, and like I like Game of Thrones, and I have the 3-book series of the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's a prequel, 100 years before the events in Game of Thrones, and I am 3/4 of the way through it, and I picked up and read 2 pages, and then I put it back down. And I can't pick it up again. I don't know why, but yeah, audiobooks. The whole thing with Sylvan, I went from like a 3rd grade reading level to like a 8th grade reading level, but I never did anything again to like help boost it again, and so my reading is still, I think, far behind where it should be. I had some great college teachers who helped me advance my writing and everything, which helped my reading. But when I listen to an audiobook, I can retain the information a whole lot better. And it took me listening to the Bible and audiobook to realize that because I was reading my Bible and I couldn't.
Do you read while the audiobook is on?
No, that one I don't do. I haven't tried it, but I also I can't find the NLT version of the Bible in audiobook that matches exactly. Like the one that I found is through 2 different publishing houses.
So it's different verbiage and
Yeah, they switch up things, and like I really haven't tried it either because I mostly listen to it while I'm like driving to work for an hour, so I know I can get my hour in a day that way.
right.
But I realized through listening, I was able to start quoting things
And retain the information because you hear it, you're paying attention to it. Yeah.
and I didn't even realize it either. But when you think about it, going back to like with tattoo artists, and tattooing and how far back it goes, we've been listening to each other for a whole lot longer than we've been writing to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, storytelling, folklore,
Yeah,
the campfire tales, and
that's
the information from our ancestors and elders. Yes.
that's how all information got passed. So
Yeah.
to think and like Native Americans have they have a weird it's not weird, it's actually an amazing thing about them. They have the ability to retain information a whole lot better than Indo-European people of descent. So I think that helps my memory side because technically the Hispanic in me is considered Native American. Um and And so like it's weird because like my Spanish part that would technically obviously Spanish raped indigenous population, and that's how Mexico kind of is born. I know it's a horrible way to say it, but it's the truth. Um, and so it's I think that's what helped my memory so much. But the listening part, I
It's that
think
genetic, cultural,
I think so.
innation, that the innate ability
Yeah, and because they did
in your ancestral
what
history to.
200 years ago they stopped doing it. You know what I mean? And they still continued it, but it was much more suppressed because of the American government to the Native American populations. And so like yeah, I think you should try listening to some stuff. 'Cause I think especially with the way I think our brains work very similarly.
Yeah,
um,
I was listening to the book Atomic Habits.
okay.
I did start that one. I was trying to read and listen, and I was just like,
So I think that might be because I feel like for myself that would be overstimulating and
uh,
like or like trying because you're trying to focus on the reading part of it, but like I think when I'm listening, I can't like people think I'm not listening to them, but I can listen better if I look away from you because it allows me to focus on nothing when I'm looking at you. Like my eyes just like keep like just refocusing. I don't know why it's and like I do look at like I do tend to make eye contact and that tends to make people uncomfortable. I know if it's for over too long of a period of time. So like whenever I'm in a meeting, like I don't look at the people. I just look down at the floor because and like everyone thinks I'm not paying attention, but no, I'm listening intently. And like when I do that, if someone else were to start speaking, I can pick up everything they say too. And I think that's kind of from bartending. Um,
yes, you do pay attention. I was a bartender for many years. You pay attention to do a lot of people watching behind the bar,
yeah, and like a lot of like sonar listening almost.
looking for cues, listen to people pulling out their money,
Yeah, just yeah, or
trying to hear if somebody's too drunk and you need to cut them off.
yeah, yeah. No, that's a hard one to do at the airport too, because people get pissed. You know, it has to be even harder in a regular bar though. You know, because that person, I can just tell them to go, or that I'm going to call security, and no one wants to get blacklisted on a fucking flight anymore. So, but unfortunately, I'm not doing that anymore. But actually, fortunately, I am because I'm a lot happier than I was.
There's a reason for every season, and this is just, maybe this is to make you focus more on your podcast and grow your audience, and
Well,
it's kind of forcing you into that.
it forced me back into construction. That's what it did. But like, and I'm completely fine with it. I mean, I'm happier now than I've ever been, but that's not has nothing to do with the job. I mean, I think it does have to do with the job, but I think it mostly has to do with my faith. But yeah, let's circle back to some more stuff on ink. Yeah, we keep.
Oh yeah.
So, what would you say is the hardest thing that you came across during this whole process?
Just credibility in the industry, because I'm not a tattooer. I don't come from the tattoo industry. I really had to respect, like, and not exploit, like, just trying to convey that really genuine, authentic, like, I really love what you do. I really appreciate the artwork side of it. And I want to have something that is a great event for years to come. Like, I want you guys to come and have a good time.
Yeah.
Just my credibility in an industry that I don't come from. Coming from hospitality, sure, I know how to throw a banger, but throwing a tattoo convention, I'm I'm getting there. I'm
No,
getting
yeah.
more credible.
I mean, it sounds like you've done your research. I mean, it's more than sounds like. I can see you've done your research.
I have like my I have tattooing, like, in my daughter's side of the family. On her
Yeah.
dad's side, his brother was a tattooer. He's passed now. His son is a tattooer. He tattooed my ankle. He's great. Like, it's a great experience to say, hey, your dad did my daughter's name. Now you get to do my son's name. I did the 18-year-old tattoo. I have my ex's name. It's faded enough now. I did it in purple because I didn't want to do black, and I was thinking ahead.
That should have been a telltale sign right there when you're trying to figure out a way to make sure it can't be too permanent.
Well, I was 18 and just starting a family. I was like, oh, I'm going to tattoo her dad. Like, I wanted her name on my ankle, but I chickened out and did her dad's name on my chest because I thought, well, it might hurt on my ankle, but, the tots are a little bit a little bit fluffy, so it shouldn't hurt as much.
That was always a problem with me growing up. I'm still skinny, but like I was skinnier than I am now, and like it sucked on the chest. because my sternum wouldn't go numb.
Oh,
Yeah.
and you got it back in the day when they didn't do all that numbing cream stuff.
That's something I'm super interested in because I've seen some dude with some hardcore tattoos and some spots. I'm like, that dude couldn't take that.
Well,
No.
they do lidocaine under the skin now. That's when I was in
What?
Chicago. They have a medical numbing lidocaine under the skin, so you can go for hours of you know. But
Really, the first 30 minutes is what the pain is, and then it goes
yeah,
numb, and then it
yeah.
feels good.
I mean, I
Like,
think you're kind of a pussy, but I mean, I did do numbing cream just to try it
yeah,
especially by my knee when I got like the knee didn't hurt as much as the back, the knee dip,
yeah.
because there's a koi fish back there, and I couldn't even get it shaded in. I can tell on my tattoo when my legs started to
Are you
hurt.
talking about like in the pit of your knee?
Yes.
Holy, that is some thin skin, girl. Like, whoa.
Yeah, that the knee dip really
Yeah. No, that would fucking hurt.
it did. I was pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Do you want me to do the bubbles?" I was like, "Yes, we're already in here. We're already committed. Do the bubbles. Get it over with."
See, yeah, the only one that really bothered me was that one. Even down my spine, that one went numb. The only one that hurt otherwise was by choice. I was like 30 minutes late, or maybe 15 minutes late because there was a blizzard out, and I was coming from Palatine all the way to Plainfield, so it was like an hour and a half. Hour drive took like 2 hours, and so he's like, "You got two choices." Well, he said three. You can take your deposit, you can reschedule, or I can drill you. I was like, just drill it, dude. I'm here. And
Brave soul.
yeah, and so like I was like, I got this. The first one wasn't that bad. I'm not thinking about, oh, it's all mostly shading now. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like curling his top of his head. He's like, dude, you're gonna break my chair. I was like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, it's all good, dude. Just try not to hurt yourself. And I just remember I don't bleed usually that bad, but I was pouring blood. It was just like coming down my
Were
arm.
you hungover at all?
No,
Oh.
no, but it was
Blood thin?
yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. And so
Let's think about this.
yeah, it definitely probably was. But yeah, no, I was just pouring. Like it's the only time I ever bled, but it's the only time I really ever like
I don't have
consistently
anything
hurt.
on my back, yeah.
So, but
I actually, this little one on my wrist here,
that probably hurt when it got close to the bone right there with the wing.
I fainted during it.
Oh shit!
But I have these huge, like, this one took like 5 hours. This one took like, I have like 9 hours in tattooing on my leg that I didn't even faint for.
Yeah.
I didn't use numbing cream on the one on the bottom. I did on the one on my knee, but like, I'm cheap. So I didn't want to pay for the like fancy scripted bottle that says tattoo numbing cream. It's lidocaine. So I, in my YouTube university, Google, Reddit, all this stuff, I read that hemorrhoid cream is 5% lidocaine and it doesn't have dyes and it's safe enough for,
You can buy straight lidocaine cream.
I bought a little tube of hemorrhoid cream,
Dual use.
and and I used it and it worked. Like I'm cheap. I spent $8.99 on a tube of hemorrhoid cream, and the little ones, the like little 2-ounce scripted fancy tattoo cream bottles, like numbing cream, it was like $25.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, that's
so $8.99 or
I'm all about
25
savings
bucks.
too.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of cheap, so
Well, I'm the same way. Literally,
if it does the same thing, like a bottle of water at your house is free. A bottle of water at the festival might be $2. A bottle of water at the airport might be $7.
Yeah.
It depends on where you're at. It's the same product.
Yeah.
It's just in a different location.
Yeah. Or a different bottle too sometimes. No, yeah, that's a huge thing. The cost of tattooing. That is the hardest thing, because it's like, you don't want to ever disrespect someone, because that's like that's their time, that's their dedication.
Yeah,
that's
it's their skill.
artwork.
It's what they've done. It's their life's work. Same thing with construction. Like construction is an art. Music is an art. Like
Yeah.
you are paying for. Like, do you want? You don't want a Picasso to design your modern home.
Right? Yeah, those are two different tracks there for sure.
I would want more of like an Andy Warhol look.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Nice and I don't know.
Clean lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's I always, my biggest fear whenever like I was trying to find someone, like when I was in Florida, like I had to go and like tattoo shop pretty much, because I didn't really know them. I thankfully found one. It was like the Black Lagoon or the black. What's that bird with the big old mouth underneath it? Is it a seagull?
Pelican?
Black pelican. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, yeah, the black pelican.
I used Instagram.
And they were pretty cool.
Instagram is great for looking for tattooers because it showcases their artwork.
Yeah,
Did brief time in Florida when I went to get, you know, I went to drug rehab in Florida.
yeah,
We went to a mental health, a dual diagnosis center because I knew it was being a binge alcoholic. I did not realize my alcoholism was the problem. I had 4 therapists trying to figure
what was
what was
going
going
on?
on. I
Yeah,
had an individual therapist, marriage therapist, a family therapist, and a trauma therapist because I'm like, I'm going to therapy myself out of whatever's going on. And I really just needed to quit drinking.
yeah,
So when I went to this dual diagnosis place, my mind said, they'll treat you better in a rehab than they will in a psych ward. Like, 'cause I thought it was my mental health that was struggling.
yeah,
But my mental health was struggling because I was a binge alcoholic. And being a binge alcoholic, you're still an alcoholic.
yeah.
So when I was down there, like one of the things I wanted to do, I did 62 days down there in St. Pete's Beach. It was a beautiful experience. And when I got out, like while I was in there, they let me have my phone. So I was looking on Instagram for artists, and I found a guy that was about an hour and a half north of. I'm down by Tampa. It was in the middle of Florida. I don't remember Valerico, Florida. Um, uh, his name was Jason Sorrow, and I don't remember what his company was, but he did a beautiful rendition of my own, like it's my own drawing, the
Yeah.
shell and the feather, and it looks like a semicolon together.
That's really cool.
And like when I went to treatment, it's because I like did not want to live my life anymore.
Yeah,
So that semicolon really represented a part of my life that, you know, the sentence isn't over like the semicolon tattoo was.
yeah,
I didn't want one of those cheesy traditional, with the butterfly or the warrior. Not that those are bad, but it wasn't for me.
yeah,
Like I said, I'm creative, I'm artistic. I wanted my own spin on things.
yeah.
So when I was looking for an artist, it was his shop. I had put the deposit down because I um, was able to get that deposit money over to him, and then I finished up there. For 2 hours, 4 hours, I don't remember, but I did that no numbing cream, and it was just like you said, that physical pain taking away. Because, like, I was really emotional coming home.
Yeah.
Like, spending 62 days, like, I was there over Christmas and New Year, and it was the greatest experience. Like, if you go to rehab in December, the new year starts. So your 30 days in December is on last year's insurance, and then your 30 days in January is on the next year's insurance.
Oh, there you go.
So December's a great time to get sober.
Every time's a great time to get sober, but yeah, no, December helps you out on the payment
On the
side.
insurance end of things.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, and plus, like being from Chicago and going to Florida, like people don't swim in Florida in December, and I was swimming all the time. They're like, "Oh my God, the pool is so cold. How are you swimming?" I'm like, "I'm Viking. I got this. I'm from
Viking.
Chicago. I'm from Chicago. It's my Nordic roots."
That's hilarious.
Because I have a very culture rich heritage. I'm
Yeah.
Swedish, I'm German, I'm Belgian, I'm black, I'm American Indian. I'm a little bit of everything all
Yeah.
into one. It's what makes Jolane.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. No, yeah, I'm Swedish too. I'm actually well, from what my parents are, I'm half Mexican and I'm Italian and Swedish. My mother was Italian and Swedish, my father was all Mexican. It gets a little weird once you get past that part.
Yeah, I started doing family tree work. I'm actually going to a family reunion the weekend after the tattoo convention
That's
with
cool.
the Swedish side of my family, the Swedish German side.
See, that's really cool because like that's the one side I really don't have much connection with. It's the Johnson side of my grandma.
Miller Erickson, they're doing a lot of the records were ruined during Holocaust times.
Yeah.
Churches were burned. Like it was a terrible time. So
Yeah.
a lot of records were kind of lost but then you get into folklore. That's where you get into, the family, like where's your family from? And
Yeah. I managed to get some information from my uncle about some of my Johnson side of the family. It's in a card somewhere he sent me. But yeah,
I'm gonna find out.
Yeah.
I don't know much. I do use like the family search
I did the whole ancestry thing
I
too.
didn't pay. I'm cheap. I didn't pay for it.
I did both of
FamilySearch.org,
them.
free.
I did 23
Uses
and
the
Me.
Church of the Latter Day Saints,
Oh, really? Okay.
their records. So, in the FamilySearch.org is free.
What's the Latter Day Saints? They had a. There's another name for them, right? That's
Are
the.
they? I think it's Jehovah
That's
Witness.
what
Yeah,
is that what it is? Is
I think
like
so.
I think I know there's another. I think that maybe it is. I think it's Jehovah Witness got a bad rap, right? Is that why
I
they started calling themselves
That's the
Latter Day
ones that
Saints?
knock at your door.
Yeah, I-
Remember Nelly sang about them.
we had a we had I had a weird experience with them one time. We were at my friend's house. I think it was it Joe Bubbles? I don't know. No, it wasn't Joe. It was another kid. Yeah, he reminds me of Joe though. I don't remember his name. It was in my friend Anthony Avancho's neighborhood next to his, and they were like knocking at the door. They knocked on the window. I
That's
was
what they
like,
do.
dude,
They
and there was
want.
all kids home, so we're
They
like,
want to. They want to save you.
yeah, no, like it was scary,
You were
man.
probably being degenerates.
We were only like grade school, so we weren't degenerates yet, but we were definitely like
You were pre
playing guns and
cops and robbers.
there you go. That's exactly what we were playing.
Guns
yeah.
and Roses.
I
you're
was,
like,
that's where my
stoner
head went.
music.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say Guns N' Roses. That's super funny. Yeah, no, that's another stupid effect of my brain. But yeah, no, it like scared the crap out of us. But it was like, why are they knocking on the windows? Are you gonna try and break in? Like
This
we
grown man in my window, get out.
like we didn't understand it. But yeah, so no, that's really cool though. Like the I get little pop-ups every once in a while from Ancestry. It's really just them trying to get money out of me. Oh, we found something on your family tree. Because I paid for it a couple times. They got me, and I paid the $20 to reactivate the account.
Sucker.
Yeah, because I was interested, and it turned out to be a document I already found. I was like, "F you guys!" Like this is already added into the little log thing you can
Yeah.
create or whatever.
I mean, I search a lot of public records. I was able to find military records.
Really?
On my dad's side of the family, they're one of the first interracial families married in Oil City, Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Like I found census records. There's a lot
See,
of.
your family's been here a lot longer than mine has. Sounds like.
I mean,
Well,
my
I'm
dad's
literally
side-
a first generation. Like, I'm a first generation Hispanic, second generation Italian, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then like, I don't know what my Swedish side is.
I don't know the Ellis Island trip stuff. I don't have any, but maybe I'll find out at the family reunion.
Yeah, no, that's because it sounds like if you're able to find those records, you've definitely been.
Mhm.
I mean, my father
I
came
mean,
over here from Mexico, so
I found Pennsylvania records. I found Georgia records, but this is all on my dad's side of the family. The Swedish
Okay,
side, I
yeah.
don't have that information from the Swedish side very much. I mean, I know that we have the Norwegian roots or whatever,
Yeah.
Sweden, Norway, Germany, all that.
Yeah.
But like I said, Holocaust ruined a lot of that information.
Oh
so.
yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff was destroyed and taken, and then the Vatican accepted a lot of the stuff that they have in their archives now and all that good stuff. So, well, that's another thing. Art. How much art disappeared during World War II that the Vatican most likely has lined in their 32 miles of shelving they have, or 42 miles of
The
shelving?
catacombs that we're not allowed to see.
Yeah, that you literally can only request information specifically. Like if you don't request the specific document in the right way, like the way it's supposed to be, they
Yeah.
won't give it to you.
Yeah.
And so it's like you have to know about the document to get it.
Yeah.
How is that allowing like
That was that public information.
Yeah, that's yeah. We need.
But art is a different. There's a whole bunch of different forms of art. I mean, between tattoo art and painting and writing, creativity, expressive art. I have an artist, a portrait artist that's coming out. He dresses up like he calls himself a guerrilla artist, and he does like clay sculptures, and he dresses up in a gorilla costume and displays his artwork downtown in the subways. Like it's really cool. All the people that have come along interested in my event.
No, I mean that, and I think that is super interesting to me because, like, 10 years ago, people would have looked at him completely different. You know what I mean? Even 5 years ago, I think people would have looked at him completely different. But I think people have come around to realizing, like, hey, live and let live. I'm really big on that. Like I said,
Let them tattoo that's going around. Have you seen that?
No.
So there's this big thing I've seen on social media being shared, and it's the girls are getting the words "let them" tattooed, and it's just basically about acceptance. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody wants to, not invite you to the party, let them. If somebody wants to, do this, let them. Like, it's not our job to fix, manage, and control what's going on around us. Like,
Yeah.
you just got to let it be. It's about acceptance and letting stuff go.
Yeah. 100%. No, that's really interesting. And so girls, you said girls are getting a tattoo?
I've been just seeing it shared. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm following a lot of tattoo stuff online, so a lot of tattoo stuff is popping up.
Yeah. That would drive me crazy because that would make me like I try to stick away from looking at tattoos because I want like I have like 3 in my head that I know that I'm getting eventually.
I have two that, like, one that I just recently found that I want to have because of my chickens. I want this traditional chicken tattoo.
You girls and your fucking chickens, man.
The chickens are awesome.
I would come and sit when it was my turn to rotate out by you and Nina, and all here's you guys. I was like, "What are you guys talking about? Chickens? Oh, okay. All right.
We're chicken people.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's awesome. I love the eggs, so I can't complain.
Yeah, so I really want the traditional chicken tattoo, and she's got a little babushka. She reminds me of my grandma.
Babushka.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hilarious. That's another thing I haven't heard in a long time. Babushka. That's good though. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so and then there's this one, it's a drawing in my head, and it's like the branch, and on the branch there's a sparrow, and on one of the, and it's got a bunch of peach blossoms because of my nickname Peach. My mom called me Peach when I was a baby, and Peach is a, you know, young adult. So I want the sparrow sitting on a branch of peach blossoms, and then on one of the blossoms I want like a brown recluse spider because they can bite you, they can infect you, like the sparrow and the spider and like a stare down. So this, I see this picture in my head of
Have
the
you drawn
tattoo.
it?
I have, but I haven't, like, I sketched it, like
Yeah.
sketched the outline, but I didn't like detail it, or I just kind of, it's in my head.
Yeah.
It's just, I hasn't completely made it to the paper because, you know, I'm artistic, so I'm really critical of my own work.
Yeah.
So I want it to be perfect.
Yeah. And I mean, if it's gonna go in your body, you better make sure it's perfect. You know what I
Like
mean?
this one here on my wrist, this was impulsive. This I got when I was
Is
1
that a
year.
phoenix?
Yep, it's a phoenix, and I want to do the watercolor. It's over a burn, and I want to do like a watercolor around it, like in
That's
some
super
plain
cool
colors.
though. That
But
you
yeah,
put it over a burn too.
yeah, I burned myself cooking when we were on vacation.
No, but
Grease splattered, and I was just like, we'll tattoo on it.
we can cover this up. It's all good.
Yeah.
But
Well,
no,
tattoos cover a lot of scars, marks,
Oh,
burns.
yeah.
You know.
yeah. And no, that's I mean the phoenix, and it's on a burn too. That's even cooler. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it has. A
I
little
didn't
bit of
even think of
significance.
that. Look at
Yeah,
that.
no. I mean that's. I thought that's where your head was going with it. No, yeah. But
that's yeah. I've been enlightened.
yeah. No, that's I love the symbolization of the phoenix. That's something that's definitely super cool because
Well, yeah, because my life literally raised from ashes to fire. You know, I was at the lowest point of my life when I did not want to live anymore, and
yeah,
it's done such a turnaround. Things have gotten so much better. Just, you know, taking away the distractions that I was so hyper focused on.
yeah,
It just being accountable, realizing I am the problem and I am the solution.
yeah. That right there is a hard thing to realize. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It
yes,
is.
that self accountability. I can keep everyone else accountable, but when I'm pointing a finger, how many are pointing back at me?
100%, and it's hard to remember that. You know what I mean? Like I have all these stupid little sayings, and like it's I used to hate rewind like having to edit my podcast. Like it's
Bane
just
of your
it's tedious.
existence.
Yeah, and like I hate hearing myself talk. I hate watching myself, and like, cause I'll do something, I'll be like, "What? What are you doing? Like, just stop moving your hand, or shut the hell up for a minute." You know what I mean? Like,
I have a European man on my voicemail, so it's not my voice. So it's like, who's the Aussie guy on your voicemail?
that's super funny. But like when I do go back and rewatch it, I learn so much more. Like, cause like I'll be like, "Oh, I did say that. I need to make sure I follow that more because I know it." But implementing what you know is a whole nother step to even learning it. So it's like when you're in that darkness area, you have to learn what you're doing wrong, and then you have to not only just learn it, you have to learn how to stop doing it.
Yeah, like,
And so it's like it sounds easy when you say it, but in reality, it never is.
like it literally takes 5 positive thoughts to cancel out 1 negative thought. We are programmed to be more negative.
Yeah.
You know, you have to practicing gratitude. Like, you can't be gratitude and anxious in the same, you know, frequency. So
Yeah. Honestly, you've taught me so much in this little bit of time, and it's like, you know what I mean? And that's why I truly enjoy this too, because there's so much perspective from people that I think is lost in today with technology and everything. And I think that's one great thing about conventions, because you do get that face-to-face interaction. And like, you know,
people from all over, all different walks of life.
and social media is lost to me, you know, and
Hmm.
so like I try to do everything I can to avoid it, and so things like this I enjoy going to now, and like I know a lot of people are like, oh, like at the exotic animal convention, people were walking out, oh, it's so crowded there, it's so, I'm like, it's kind of like what you expect though, you know what I mean? Like to
Yeah,
me, it's
let's
like why.
come together. Or do we want to see?
Yeah, it's like if you're just gonna rush in and rush out of something, yeah, you're going through the motions for your children and everything. And yeah, it's great. You're at least doing it, and it's better than just sitting at home with them.
Being
But
there is different than being present.
yeah, and I think being present in these times and being able to go out and see people face to face and talk with them and meet the different walks of life. Like I try to talk to people all the time. Like if someone is willing to listen and like not sorry, I shouldn't say willing to listen. If someone's willing to conversate with me, I'll happily have a conversation with you.
Yeah, like even like the people on the street with the sign. I might not have money, but I'll give them a water bottle. Like, here, have a water bottle. Have a blessed day. Like,
I would rather have you ask me for food or something of substance than ask me for money.
even if they need the money, like it's not my job to discern what they do with it. They're asking for the money. If I have it to give and they want to use it for good or for evil, that's on them to decide. It's
Yeah.
on me to give. It's not me to judge.
That actually came up recently with me. I was giving some money to someone for something. I don't want to give any details. Um, and another person was like, "Are you sure you want to do that? They're just going to use it for XYZ." And I'm like, and it almost got me to stop. And I was like, "Oh," I put the money back, and I was like, "Wait, that's not for me to. That doesn't matter.
It's
I'm doing this because it's what I'm supposed to
what's
do."
on my heart, what
Yeah,
I want to do. I
yeah,
wouldn't feel like I need to give this.
no,
And I don't, there's a lot of times I roll up my window and keep driving,
yeah.
but sometimes I do. Like,
And so like, yeah, I
the
took
other
the
day,
money
the
back.
guy was standing out there and he had his little sign, "I'm hungry." And I don't know if he was hungry or if he had the shakes or what, but
Yeah,
I tossed him $1. Like, here,
I had a guy at
every,
McDonald's. Yeah,
if every car gives you $1,
they'll do pretty well. They
yeah,
they say a panhandler can make on average between about $100
that's bananas.
a
I'm
day.
in the wrong field.
Right. No, it sometimes makes you think. Right. It's like, whoa, Uh, who's living harder here?
I don't, I wouldn't trade that,
Oh, I wouldn't either. No, yeah, that was a joke. But yeah, the guy at McDonald's, he's like, "Man, can you buy me double cheeseburger?"
Of
I was
course.
like, I said no at first, and I was like, when I got to the window, I was like, okay, and I ordered it for him because I realized he definitely was on drugs.
But he's still
But he was
hungry.
hungry. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and he was standing there, and like, and then he walked over the thing, and like, I just handed it to him. He's like, "Thank you so much." I'm like, "No problem, man."
They're
Like,
good people. They're just sick people.
yeah, and I
I
think,
mean, you got to think trauma, lack of connection equals addiction. And like, they're good people that have a sickness. Like, like their mind has been twisted. They have been rewired and reprogrammed to, you know,
fall into this spell.
self pity, selfish. It's just, it's a sickness.
Yeah, and it's really sad how our country got so far away from, we are pristine on physical health when it, like
Yeah.
we know how to do it. We know how to keep ourselves healthy. Like we've dialed that in so well with like our, I shouldn't say physical because that still includes the part I'm separating out, but the actual like,
Mental and physical health go hand in hand.
well, the yeah, because I guess you can't separate it. Yeah, the physical health, and then but we haven't done anything with mental health, and like
They're getting better.
it
There's
is, but
definitely a push to get better.
we're going
Still,
down a road though that is not in the right direction. I feel like
no,
because we're going more medicated than we are actually looking at the root cause of the
medicating
issues.
and accommodating. Like, people, you should not expect things. Like, it is going to be hard.
Yeah,
You do have to work for what you want.
yeah,
Like, if you fall into a bad place and you treat people like crap and nobody wants to hang out with you,
yeah,
it's because of your own choices.
yeah,
Like,
100%.
you have to be accountable for the way you've treated other people.
Yeah,
Like, it took, like, I'll have 3 years in December. In just about the last 6 months, my son just started feeling comfortable enough and safe to talk with me and take and go out to lunch with me.
yeah,
But for a long time, I was not accountable for my behavior. I do as I say, not as I do. And the kids did not trust me. They did not trust that what I was doing was on the up and up, and they thought it was just another one of,
yeah,
but I have to be a person. Like, I now have integrity. I now have, people can know they can rely on me, which
yeah,
is something different, which also, helps with the catalyst of being an entrepreneur and doing this whole business venture. Before, these were all ideas. This was stuff I sat on a bar stool and wanted to do.
Yeah.
And now I'm actually out there doing it. Everyone talks about it. I just actually did it.
Yeah. And I personally, I mean, I know if I was in the state I was in when I was going through my troubles, I wouldn't be able to do anything like that. And I don't know that if you are having those issues, I'm sure there are people out there that can do it, that can function, that are functional while they're addicts too. But I
It's
don't,
just, it's a short lived path.
yeah, 100%. It's not sustainable over a very long period of time. And if it is, you are a very special person because that is a very hard lifestyle to deal with. You know what I
Or
mean?
you
Like,
have a lot of enablers making it happen.
that well, that's true too, but like what I'm speaking of is actually like being successful and like, so being able to do everything that a successful person does while still being, there's like a very small population that could do that. There was a guy on a podcast that I saw that was he's a well scheduled author, but he's also a heroin addict, and he says like, yeah, I just deal with it, and like I'm not supporting that at all. Like I don't think anyone should do that, but he is one in like probably 3 billion. You know what I mean? Like that's how rare of a person that you will ever find that can do that. And so what I'm trying to say is like, in order to do something like this, you have to be in a clear state of mind.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, our mental, like some people medications work great for. I agree with that, but I think we've kind of used them as a blanket to kind of like, okay, you have a mental illness, well, here's the normal round of what we give to people. Let's just try that with you.
My thing is like, okay, if you fall, you scrape your leg, you get a staph infection, you
Yeah.
take medication for a very short period of time
And then you get
to
off of
fight
it.
off the infection, and you get off of it. Why is it not like that with the mental health industry? These people are on antidepressants and mental health drugs for longevity, and it's not a sustainable option. Like, you still have to work on trauma triggers, uh, you know, just revisiting versus ruminating, and not living in that sadness and
Yeah.
despair, and just like knowing that it's okay to make a safe space for these feelings, feel them, name them, and grow from them. Like,
Yeah.